Good afternoon. This is Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. And I'm pretty sure by the looks of the truck you can guess what happened today. It was payday. Now, well, a lot of people were wondering why I left out a lot of wood in the house. Well, I didn't have the money. I got it, so let me show you what I've been doing. I haven't grabbed the camera yet. I just got here and got right to work, and I just finished lunch. Looks like a construction site, doesn't it? Nope, there's Waldo. I have been putting in the braces here, the cross braces. I dropped in two pieces of it, or I cut the insulation actually that was there already. And I'm caulking up and down on the seams, top and bottom, where the seams are. And I caulked a little bit in the walls. I should have had my camera out, but whoops, that one's still got an air gap. I caulked some of the nail holes that were in the walls, the ones that I could see. So that's screwed in. I decided not to use the liquid nails in that because that'd be a lot of liquid nails. And I'm caulking as well. Now outside, what I've done here is nailing in the sheathing to each of the cross members here that I'm putting in. So as I put one in, I come outside and nail it in place, securing it. Isn't that pretty? Now that's a nice frame, isn't it? That's some proper framework there. That looks good. So John is coming over later, actually soon, and we're gonna just keep on knocking this out, filling these gaps. And then later I gotta get out with a wash bucket. I decided I am just gonna wash the seams and tape from the outside. It's gonna be the best way. That way there's no chance of missing any gaps in between and behind the studs. So we're gonna put all these cross braces in. That's our goal today. And then I'll get that outdoors sealed up. Now, a lot of people are wondering why. Some are wondering why I sealed it off to the top, and some are wondering why I stopped doing it. Well, I sealed it off to the top for a good reason. I'm going to caulk all the way around those rafters on the top. It's going to be absolutely sealed off completely, but with the exception that I am going to have ventilation up in the very top. I've got these ridge vents, I think they're called, and they go up in there. They're the foam vents. I got the plastic one, it's narrower, and I'm going to tape it with the Tyvek tape, seal it off completely at the ends, and have a air inlet and then the plastic venting going up and an air exhaust, and only that will be exposed. The rest will be sealed off and airtight so that I don't get drafts in the ceiling or the roof cavity up there. So I've got a lot of caulking and sealing to do, but I'll get that done properly. Here's another thing a lot of people are wondering about is if I staggered the boards. Here's a whole board, here's a half. Up above is a hole, here's a half. And then these are staggered over the seams there. So those are all absolutely staggered. On the front, the seams are staggered. You can see over here, there's a half, a hole, and then a hole and a hole staggered over that. And then a hole and a half staggered over there. I don't know if that shows up well enough here. So I guess on camera you didn't see all that very well because a lot of people were asking. I was getting phone calls and private messages. Enough that I'm going to address it in the video. A lot of people were really concerned. So you can see those are clearly staggered. There's a half, there's a hole, there's a half, there's a hole. And then those are staggered over those. Now in the back the same except for one seam. See, there's the staggered seams. Not lined up with each other, all staggered seams. There's a miscut board. Staggered seams, staggered seams. Now the only place where it lined up is right where a window is, so I didn't really worry about that at all. That lined up, so that'll all be cut out anyway. And I think that's the seam that everybody must have seen. Out of all the whole house, that one seam where I'm going to be cutting it out anyway, out of the whole house, that must be what people saw. Because it's the only seam that isn't staggered. The roof is staggered as well, by the way. I just want to clear that up so people have peace. We did stagger the boards on the roof. I think everybody just thinks because I didn't do it on the floor, I wouldn't do it on the house walls, but on the floor I didn't know better. Now I do. So anyway, Hope that takes away your fears and worries about this house falling apart. It should be strong. Of course, actually, I think some people are wanting the house to fall apart in my head. And I hope to disappoint you. Well, this blocking is going very fast. Faster than I actually thought it would. And I'm not really in a hurry. I started here on the other side of this window and went around all the way over to here so far. And really just measuring, going outside, cutting, coming inside and screwing it in place. With the new power driver, by the way, it is this impact driver. It goes in smooth as butter. There's no work, no labor. My arms were in serious agonizing pain every night because of the force it took to push in a screw before. And to make matters better, I got these odd star-shaped screws today, so they're going in easier, way easier. So it's moving along, and I'll measure a board, I'll go out and cut it, I'll bring it in and fit it, I'll screw it in, I'll go out and I'll nail it in, so I'm following along one at a time. And that way each one is secure and I don't miss anything as I go. And then of course my tar tape will fill in these big gaps later on and all the seals and seams. So John should be here anytime. He'll be surprised how much I'm doing as quick as I'm going along here, filling in these gaps. Oh, by the way, you might notice this board. That was a board that I was experimentally putting up to see what I thought about having a ladder right there. And I think I'm liking it. Once I get the bathroom wall up, which will be roughly where the ladder straddling it and coming across here, then I'll have a better feel of how I want that ladder, but I think I'm liking it like that. Just wanted to show you how smooth this is going with that speed square. I'm cutting my boards pretty tight, just so I can push them in by hand. Nice fit. Nice snug fit. All of my boards are sliding in like that. Nice and snug. So I don't have to mess around with guessing where the line is. So I don't have to worry about holding it as I screw it in. It's really going well. I hear John pulling up with his truck. He's going to be very surprised and happy to see the materials and the progress going on in here. Because look at that, this is just, whoops, tripod fell apart. Pause. Got all of this in an hour, and they're all nailed too on the outside. Not bad at all, not bad. This will be done in no time. With the two of us, I'm going to go up top and I'll be measuring and he'll be cutting and I'll be putting them in. This is going to go super fast. Well, there it is. John is here and together he just put in the last nail and the last piece. Together we finished it in no time. I think 15 minutes since he's been here. And all the blocking is done. Now I'm going upstairs on a ladder and we're going to start up here, and that should take no more than an hour to do all of that. Well, it's really hot inside, so we're going to open this window up. John volunteered to do the cutting, so...
This is where I lose my job.
Yeah. For how many? What, the 12th time, I think?
Oh man, you're so mean to me.
Go around and look inside. Should just be seeing the blade come through, or at least some daylight. Oh, let me see. Yep, I can see daylight. Well, you're touching the 2x4 just a tiny bit. You're just shaving the 2x4. That's looking good. We'll have to hit the corners with a sawzall or what?
Probably.
Alright.
Ah, I just hit a screw.
You hit a screw?
Yeah. It must be an old screw that was...
I don't see it.
You don't see it, I know.
That's... Oh, unless it's in the wood. Oh wait, I'll tap it out. I think I see it. It might be just the head. Well, I just hit with a sawzall and knocked that out. And he's cutting, you can see right here. He's got that, and I'm hitting along behind him with a sawzall. So as I said, I just knocked that piece out. And we'll get some ventilation in here, because it's really hot in here.
New York summers.
Yeah. Alright, John's cutting the sawzall so I can record. Huh? There you go. Yep. There, that broke loose. I feel some ventilation. I already feel some air flowing through that window. That's going to be a relief. That's it. That's it. You were into the stud. Well, I'm going to help over here in the corner, take the pressure off.
Push it out, it should pop.
Well, I don't want to make it messy. Let's cut that little lip off neatly. Please, if you don't mind, sir.
I can't. You gotta let it go back in.
Ah!
How'd you get in there?
Oh, I feel it. I feel the air blowing through. That's going to help a lot. Well, there's a big window.
That's good.
Well, so we're going to mount that later on. That's good. So after we're done nailing everything on the outside, then we're going to mount that window. But for now, we just needed a cross breeze. It's so hot in here today. Well, we just finished putting in nails wherever there was some missing. Reinforcing especially along the bottom, because when we put up the sheathing, we did it in a hurry. And we just finished tacking everything down securely all the way around the whole house. And now we're going to put in this back window. So I didn't record much today because it wasn't too exciting, just nailing all the nails all along. But we got the wall pretty solid now. So now we're going to put in the window, which is something I've never done, but it's going to allow us a lot of fresh air. It was just too hot in there earlier. Alright, we've got the window flashing tape all the way around the opening, and I've put overlaps on the corners. What I did is put a piece here and then went inwards and slid it, so I've got an overlap on the corner. I put the bottom piece first, coming up and then down and then up, and then the top piece overlapped that, and then the very top piece came down and overlapped that some. So there's always, from higher to lower, there's always an overlap for water to run down and out. And then I put a piece on the corner here and slid it and then wrapped it inwards like this on both ways, and same over there. So there's always a path for water to run down and out, always over the top of the last piece of tape. So I think we're going to do it now, right? We're going to put that window in place?
Put that window in.
Alright, let me pause and set up the tripod. Alright. Let's get it up there. it is. It almost holds itself in place. That's perfect. Now, if you can stand by a minute. Actually, it's going to stay up, isn't it? Oh, it goes through. Oh, I see. We don't want to push that far. All right. Now, I'll show you something here. You will notice there is a nailer on this side, and there's not one on this side. So we're going to have to ad-lib. This was a never used window, but it wasn't happily treated. So we got to figure out how we're going to attach that all the way around. And then I'm going to use some more of my sealing tape all the way around the edges, top, bottom, and sides, just to be extra safe and sure that water always runs down and out and never inside. Well, we've got a window. I still got to put some sealing outside. Oh, hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good.
What do you think?
I like it.
It's going to hold, eh?
This window. I can hardly see.
Yeah, I know, it's disgusting. Well, the film is still on it. The original new
Yeah,
film.
the brand new film is still on it.
That's good.
It's really new.
Cool. That's a Craigslist haul right there, that window. Looks good, huh?
Yes, sir.
Let's come around inside and have a look at our window. Look at that. It needs some cleaning. So what I'm going to have to do, because this thing was sitting in a barn, it was never used, but it was sitting in a barn, so there's some weird paper junk stuck on it. So what I'm going to have to do is clean it carefully, and then I'll just lightly hand sand it to get the color of the wood back, because there's some dirty spots here. So I'll lightly hand sand it with some fine paper, and then I'll go over it with my beeswax and oil or whatever I do decide to use on this. But there it is so far. Now we still have to, of course, insulate on the sides. And it's shimmed and it's squared with the house. And we got to insulate on the sides. And then I'll show you outside what we got to do. Now I'm going to come across here and use some more of this tape. And starting just inside the lip of this, I'm going to come in and fold over and out. And again, I'm going to do the bottom edge and wrap up, and then I'm going to do the top or the side edges overlapping over the bottom, and then I'm going to do the top and do the same thing overlapping over the sides. Now that's just for me extra precaution to make sure nothing ever gets down inside in between the window and the wall. I don't know if that's standard procedure, but that's how I'm doing it. So yeah, there it is, our first window. Now we have ventilation and light. There's John over there looking at the ground. Must be thinking. So now we'll be able to get some fresh air in here on the hot days. That's so much better.